What's going on, everybody? It is, as always, the dulcet tones of your boy, Q, as always. What are we doing here tonight? Well, you may remember that we just recently finished Bioshock 1, and then finished Bioshock 2. Well, before moving on to the inappropriately named Bioshock Infinite, we are going to go and do the Remastered DLC of Bioshock 2. That's right, we are going to go into Minerva's Den. One of the highest, allegedly at least anyway, highest quality and highest praised DLCs of, I won't say recent memory, but just in general, of the last maybe decade or so, the last generation and a half of gaming. This is one of the more popular ones. I cannot remember if I've played it. I don't believe I have. I went through my old Xbox my Xbox account to go back and look for Bioshock 2 to see if I played it, and I didn't seem to have any of the achievements. So I'm gonna go with I didn't play it. So this will be a little bit of a brand new blind thing for me. Anyway, having said all that, let's step foot into Minerva's Den and see what the deal is. See what's different, when it's set, who we are, gameplay mechanics, etc, etc. Okay, I thought that was actual an intro to the whole thing, but let's start Minerva's Den. We're just along for the ride. We want a little bit of gameplay. We don't want a challenge, super challenge. We don't want it to be too easy. So as always, we're going to go with medium. Loading Minerva's Den. We'll see how this goes. I'm curious if it's going to be very story heavy, or if it's just gameplay mechanic heavy, lore heavy, or what's the deal. Look away when the Lancer oh, I missed. What the hell is a Lancer? This must be new. New stuff. Madness. "1968. Rapture." So this is set after we wake up. Or at least in around then.
Subject Sigma is approaching Minerva's Den. He must not reach the Thinker. Detonate the tunnel!
So we had alphas, deltas, sigmas, and sometime later. Oh, it's a starfish and a Big Daddy mask. Okay. I was wondering what the deal was. I do think it's kind of curious that for a game that's generally not well liked or received, that it has one of the higher rated DLCs and more, we'll call them appreciated DLCs.
Hello, Mr. Sigma? Can you hear me? The name's Porter. Charles Milton Porter. Doc Tenenbaum tells me you're here to help us get the Thinker out of Rapture. It's not going to be easy, but nothing worth doing ever is. You should be able to get inside through an airlock.
Find Charles Milton Porter. I guess that's what the CM stands for. Naturally, it's a Bioshock game. We do have to look around just a little bit. Although I'm not expecting to find anything super crazy right at the start. Mainly just because at this point, well, we don't have any weapons. I don't have any plasmids. I don't have any tonics. I don't have any anything. It's also another thing I'm curious about. Will there be new weapons, plasmids, tonics? Certainly no new textures by the looks of it. When those took a little bit to load in.
Minerva's den has been cut off from the rest of Rapture for some time, but not cut off from splicing. Don't let your guard down. The den's gone dark, but if you can reset the local power relay, I'll be able to get the juice flowing from here.
Alright. So we got ourselves telekinesis. And we got ourselves a drill. It's a start.
Mr. Porter, let me be the first to congratulate you on the founding of Rapture Central Computing. The great chain only grows stronger with each pair of hands laid upon it. I trust that you and I will choose to pull Rapture in the same direction.
Good old Ryan. Wonder how his head is feeling at this point. I also wonder if I've got my drill charge. Mine. Oh, it's a robot. Well, I'm going to assume this is going to bring us to the same place.
What steps into Minerva's den? Porter's newest toy? He wants to tinker for himself. But you see, old friend, the machine has chosen me.
What the hell is the Tinker? No, by the looks of it, I lost my charge.
Reed Wall. He and I founded Rapture Central Computing together, but the greedy bastard pushed me out years ago. The splicers, the security. He pulls the strings in Minerva's den now.
It's turned off because we don't have the power on. And I saw there was a switch for us to zap. But we've no lightning.
Porter and I are partners, but he's wasting that machine. In off hours, I've been using it to predict the outcomes of baseball games, and it is incredibly accurate. Apply such equations to Rapture's markets. This thing is the money-making grail. But Porter, I have heard them feeding it recordings of his dead wife. The fool wants to turn the thinker into a person. I could not imagine a sadder fate for such a perfect machine.
So who is the good guy and who's the bad guy? We got a laser. An ion laser. I'm liking the sound of this.
Look at you, Sigma. You think that Porter is your ally. But the Thinker knows better. The Thinker knows.
That Reed guy's voice makes me want to play. Oh, I like this laser.
Rapture Central Computing.
The power is rerouted. That should tip things in our favor. Head up to my office in the executive wing. I've got something you'll need. Hurry now.
In a moment, Reed. Oh, no, that's not Reed. In a moment, Charles. Got some money to spend. Just stock up a little bit. Wait, why is it asking me? It's telling me all sorts of weird directions to go. Where are Eve hypos everywhere? It's quite the place to store them.
What's the secret of Rapture Central Computing's success? The most advanced computing device.
I thought she was going to say Intel.
The Thinker.
Operations. Let's see what we got down here. Oh, no. Check for the security camera. Avoid security cameras, destroy them, or hack them. Well, let's hack them. Security command. Take control of Rapture security with security command. Enemy security and your own friendly bots and turrets will follow the blue ball and attack with deadly force. So it's the same as from the main game. We'll just throw this at an enemy. Then they'll get killed.
Mr. Ryan hired me to build a computer that could keep an entire city running on time. The Rapture Operational Data Interpreter Network. Folks call it the Thinker for short. We've harnessed the power of Atom even in this, allowing the mainframe to process data at the speed of thought. In other words, it thinks for us. Yes. And with the completion of the independent reasoning processor, it may finally think for itself. If Turing could see me now.
The Turing test. Them and their computers and their AI. No Atom. I'm just gonna see if everything is still the same though. Yeah, I don't see any new ones there yet. Tenenbaum can provide you with a bonus tonic if you complete the Protector trials. Complete all of the trials and then return to a Gatherer's Garden to receive the Master Protector's tonic. Well, they were just kind of trials, as in score, attack, and time trials and shit.
Those vacuum bots sucked up all sorts of things before they went on the fritz. Crack one open, and you might find something you can use.
New optional goal. Destroy the vacuum bots in Minerva's den. Sounds good. Really? Okay. This is being stupid.
Yes, cry. I will have to be more efficient now.
Where'd she go? I don't know what it is about Bioshock 2, but the sound is off. You know, I'm gonna try mess with it a little bit. We're gonna switch from audio mode 5.1 to just stereo, just for the sake of it. Which is strange, because I believe I played Bioshock 1 in 5.1. And that didn't really have any weird audio issues. But hey, these remasters are known for being kind of questionable. On the blue. Low on ammo but wealthy, right as I pick up ammo. Wait, it said I was low on ammo. I had almost full ammo. Thanks, game.
The
area is off limits.
I wonder how big a part the computer is going to play in this. I have a feeling it's going to be a huge one. Electromagnetic lock. This is new. Some doors are locked magnetically. Nearby resistor relays regulate the flow of power to electromagnets. Dislodging the resistors using the gravity well will disable the maglock opening the door. Well, that's something I don't have yet. That's probably them in there. Oh, upgraded spear gun. This one's new. The acceleration upgrade increases spear velocity and decreases refire time.
The Thinker's perfect equation has predicted your every move, Sigma. It knew you would be here. It knows where you will be next. And it knows that you will fail.
Are you sure about that?
Wall's become obsessed with perfecting his predictive equation. The Thinker can do plenty, but tell the future? No. The splicing drove him mad. Wall can rot here in Rapture for all I care. We'll make a copy of the Thinker and return it to the land of the living.
My little bot wasn't doing the best there, was he? Well, there's not much I actually have a choice for here.
Did you know that the Thinker processes the equivalent of 12,000 encyclopedias every day? The Thinker works hard for Rapture.
What, are these lads dropping? Oh no,
Atom
this
is a
one's a different one.
predatory substance. After exposure, a constant supply is required to maintain its effects. Otherwise, the user deteriorates into madness. My plasmid, which releases the little ones from their servitude, is promising, but limited. It only works on the children with the slugs in their bellies. On an adult splicer or Big Daddy, you'll see rejection effect. Undesirable. But if the deterioration of mind and body were reversible, if Adam's sickness could be cured, then its predatory nature would be no more.
Thermal cell. Special ammo. Special ammo is a variety of added effects and functions. Pick the right ammo for the right enemy. Ion laser thermal cells light enemies and objects on fire. So it also doubles up as incinerate, basically. So I can hit these piles of fuel and just light them on fire. You. Oh, careful, hacker. Oh, nice one. We're getting some alternate ammo for everything else too.
Someone in the Rapture children. Let's fly. Oh.
And why does everyone in this DLC have a little pet drone? Come Come on, bots, get out of my way. Well, I don't have grenades or anything I can drop over there, so that's gonna have to wait till later.
If I cannot reconcile these numbers, this crime will be design.
Come on, bots, do your thing. I really need the gun. Well, not a gun, what was it? The hack tool. So I can do it from a distance.
Who left this equipment turned on? Oh, get the place up
Come on, let's kill him. It's easy. Just set him on fire a few times. I gotta remember that room is in there if I get something that I can kind of bounce or throw. And these lads don't really seem to sell anything good. The Tinker knows. They're doing all sorts of crazy equations.
The Thinker has shown me so much. My outlook was limited before in ball games and stock prices, dollars and cents. No, the numbers spiral out. They touch everything. Hidden within them lies a predictive algorithm for you, for me, for the destiny of the base allele to the stretch of a galaxy's arm. The Thinker is destined to give birth to that crystalline equation, which determines all. I thought I knew its true purpose before. I thought Porter was the fool. Now I see. I was the fool all along.
Right, so he's basically lost his mind. And I can't get through there without the hack tool. So I'm just gonna have to come back here after I get it. Better give me all. Oh, right.
That damn door on the fritz again. Somebody around here must have had one of those maintenance tools. I checked the machine room here in the executive wing.
Find a hack tool. Okay, we were just down here. I probably couldn't pick it up. It probably wasn't there. Yeah, that wasn't there a second ago, was it?
That hack tool should come in handy. Head back up to my office.
Okay, his voice is really familiar now. But I can't be 100% sure from where.
Minerva's den is mine. You think you can hack your way to the Thinker? You're welcome to try.
No, don't worry, I plan on it.
Rapture depends on the Thinker every day. Dispatching trains, connecting your phone calls, and keeping the air fresh. The Thinker, the most helpful machine in Rapture.
Oh, her gun disappeared. How sketchy is that? Oh, yeah. bots. Don't make me deactivate you. Officer CN Porter.
Wall splicers haven't gotten into my office thanks to the Thinker's security. I'm giving you top-level access now. All right? Beginning scan.
Scanning. Designation. Sigma. Please, come in.
Subject Sigma. That's us, apparently.
Sorry I can't be there to meet you in person. You've seen the state of the den these days. It's the Thinker that's important now, though. I need you to get to the computer core and print a hard copy of the Thinker's machine code. Core access is in operations. There's an Ops access punch card hidden in the compartment under my desk there. Grab the card and head for Ops.
Punch cards. Now that is old school to the max.
That first year in London working for Turing, I didn't see Pearl much. Spent all day and night in a government compound, building a computer to crack the Enigma machine. Pearl got pretty fed up with me. I didn't pay her heed.
Babbage.
And then one night, I'm out in that complex, and the Blitz starts falling. Next morning I came home to find nothing but ashes where I last saw her.
Potter's time is done, friend. And now you collude with this traitor to steal the Thinker away from me? Sigma must be removed from the equation.
Thinker, deploy office defenses.
Where are said office defenses?
Wall. He was a brilliant engineer. We saw eye to eye once, long ago. But
Where
the
did all the blue
splicing
come
made
from?
him paranoid. Delusional.
Oh my.
He'd murder us both to keep the Thinker here.
Yeah, my plasmid. Didn't think that one through, did I? Sometimes mouse aim just ain't fair. Oh, I hear Big Daddy. That's our first one.
The Rapture Central Computing mainframe performs over 1 million calculations per second. Couldn't your business benefit from that kind of power? Contact a corporate accounts representative.
The Lancer is the most technically advanced Big Daddy that Rapture ever produced. Now it stands between you and the Little Sisters. And if there's anywhere that you'll need Atom to get by, it's Minerva's den.
See, I can't remember what the loading screen said about looking away from Lancers.
Subject Sigma rises above the pack, hmm? A
Lancer
futile
killer.
gesture before the all-knowing
Okay, it's the same thing.
Thinker.
But you can see Rodin's masterpiece of sculpture that shares its name.
We'll do the usual.
Come visit the Thinker
There's 3 of them in this
today
level.
in Minerva's den.
See? Adam is... We found it!
Do what you will with the girls. Twist your body with Adam. The Thinker's perfect equation accounts for all possibilities.
Well, To be honest, we're a big daddy. You know, how much more twisted can we get? Oh, she's being slow. I forgot we don't have all the upgrades.
Watch me do your son.
What is that? His hands are on fire. Leave her alone. The big guys are proving a little bit of a challenge. With limited everything.
Always safe with Dad.
What's this? McClendon Robotics.
Impotent button press.
Drill dash. Oh, yes, the drill dash. This is what I want. I'm going to go with... We'll just get rid of one of them. I don't remember which
Lying
one
down
is which.
on the yob, are ya? Resign.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, nice one. We're getting all our old school stuff back. Our rivet guns.
Sequence. Something come. Where? What? Here you go. Where? What?
Okay, rivet gun, no upgrades. Not the most fun thing in the world. But the key thing is, it is another weapon for us to use. Albeit slowly but surely. I like to think of it as something to rely on in a pinch. After all, I'd rather have it than not have it.
Don't ask me, silly. Ask the computer tutor.
Oh, that's right. I've got a little
What's
sister.
that wonderful smell?
The automatic chef made your favorite tonight. Tuna surprise. And I didn't have to lift a finger.
Yay! Thanks, Mom.
Don't thank me. Thank McClendon Robotics.
How might McClendon Robotics improve the lives of your customers?
Oh, there she is.
Meet with one of our corporate representatives today. McClendon Robotics, conveniently located in Minerva's den, the heart of Rapture's high technology.
Yeah, see, they haven't really said much about what Minerva's den actually is. Or where Minerva's den actually is. And what about it?
Where are you hiding them? Punch cards, I say.
Is it somewhere I should be privileged to be? Or kind of go there with a big brown overcoat?
Daddy's mad.
And I could take it or leave it. With regard to which one is which. Yeah, well, forget the
Daddy,
splicer.
are you taking me home too?
We'll kill him whenever we see him. Two of 5.
I guess sometimes a cloud of lead just ain't enough. Today I signed for a shipment of those new bot models from McClendon. One variety tosses lightning bolts and the other fires a swarm of rockets. I understand we got some sensitive info bouncing around the mainframe, but brother, these guys ever heard of overkill?
I don't know, it sounds like my kind of like vacuum bot. Unless there were some sort of turrets rather than just bots. Oh no. Stupid. Thing going the wrong way. I thought it would just, yeah, we're fine. Evelyn. Oh, this is the one with the first aid kits, right? We're going to lose Walking Inferno for the moment. After all, I would much rather get Eve.
I input the program
when I use Hellkit.
Over there!
Nobody wants my daddy.
Oh, just missed. I noticed it kind of did a little home and launch on her. I need to find a vent to drop the big or little sisters back. We didn't go in here yet, did we? No.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk. Out.
Oh, listen, we're getting the auto hacked arts now too. Yeah, that's probably not the best place in the world to stand. Then again, I'm sure he wasn't thinking of me just drilling through the hole.
At least this will come as a surprise to you.
What the hell happened there? Kind of bounced all over the place. And naturally, we're taking the high ground.
Thank you.
We might not get as much instant Atom, but it'll all come back in time. In the end, isn't that the most important part? Either that or family, allegedly. I have a feeling I'm somewhere where I shouldn't be yet.
thing like that, losing the only person you care about for somebody else's war, it makes you take stock. I started seeing eye to eye with Mr. Ryan around that time. And so, I brought my know-how down to Rapture. I built the Thinker for him, and now it's all I've got. I wonder sometimes, what if I'd come around to Ryan's way of thinking just a little sooner?
Well, maybe you and your wife will be living down here. Alive. But then again, that's one of those things that you can't sit around thinking about the whole time.
I will dispose of them, one way or another. Prevent them all.
One of those little mental exercises. You know, what if this, what if that. Handyman. When your security friends take a bullet for you, put the magnet tip-top shape with a bit of ease. Repair and... No, I don't want to... I don't need that one. But I will certainly hack them. It's like a little robot daughter girl. It's not creepy at all. Just a little insane. And he's got all four of them lined up. Well, I can't wait to find the audio log explaining all this. I'm sure it's probably... Yeah, here it is. This is probably it.
Robotic little sisters. Robotic little sisters. Sure, Mr. Ryan, we'll take that contract. Sure, yeah, we'll front all the R&D costs, no problem. And when the big daddies ignore the little robot girls and all your fancy field tests, hell, what are we gonna do with all the full production run of these useless things?
Oh, get out of my way, you stupid little bot. I mean, I realized I could have shot it from a distance and done it that way, but where's the fun in that? Oh, what is that? That's a plasmid or a tonic of some sort. And it was yellow, so it's probably important.
Pearl's death opened up a kind of hole in my mind. But eventually I got around to reflecting on Alan and his intelligence test for machines. I remember grinning about the idea that I could beat it. Design a machine capable of replicating Turing himself. And wouldn't that show the old man? But then suddenly I realized I wasn't really thinking about replicating Alan at all. I was thinking about Pearl.
Oh, I'd move that out of the way so I could get across. Gotcha. That's probably how I get in on the other side.
The Thinker's independent reasoning processor has been running for several months now. Standardized intelligence test scores continue to rise, beginning daily voice synthesis test. Good morning, Thinker. How are you?
Acceptable. Request to continue most recent conversation topic. Pearl Porter.
Oh, my late wife. Yes, I have a number of old audio recordings we made together that you could listen to, if you'd like.
Acceptable. Begin input of data regarding Pearl Porter.
You took the words right out of my mouth, friend.
Well, that's Electro Bolt at least. That is definitely one we want to use. Especially with our drill.
Big sister doesn't like slowpokes.
It also sounds like Big Sisters might be still in this one.
Naughty. Trying to hide the atom. I'll make you light as feathers again.
Remember me? Why don't you just get stuck by everything? Come in here while you're at it. Run into all these trap rivets. Come on. I'm right here. You know what? Come on. Come at me. Blow up quickly. Blow up faster. Please die. Okay. That one didn't go as perfectly as planned. But I'll take it.
This one has Adam.
I did think the trap rivets would do a little bit more damage.
Shine, Adam shine. Where angels fall, the roses will fall.
God, she's talking. We all know what angels look like to her. It's not weird at all. Oh, that's so good. Just charge right at them. Beat them all down. Oh, no you don't. Get away from her.
Are we gonna be together again, Daddy?
I really need to figure out a better way using this arsenal to kill the big guys. They're the trouble right now, if you will.
Come on, Daddy. It's close.
How does it feel to know that your grand purpose is foretold by a machine? The numbers know already what will happen. As I tell you this, will it affect the outcome? I am not so much holding my breath.
I could take you away to heaven.
Well, that didn't do much. Where's my spear gun? I'm only using it because there's ammo for it right there. It's not really the best use right now, but still. Oh, that said flying.
Come on, Dad. Daddy, you always save me from the monsters.
He's not even dead, but it's still glorious. Jesus, he's everywhere. I guess the rocket power does really have its use. Sometimes. Are they all dead? I guess so. Finally, we get to be able to buy some upgrades now. Yeah, over 300 at him. That's nice. I think the Gatherer's Garden was back out in the main area. Oh, that's bullshit. Didn't stay stunned for long.
Rapture Central Computing is the best choice for your company's computing needs. Why, the Thinker even does some thinking for Ryan Industries.
But wasn't the Gatherer's Garden out here? Maybe it was upstairs. Yeah, it was. It was upstairs through the door. It should be right here. Close. Maybe the next door. There it is. This is what we wanted. Well, I would say I only want one, but I'm trying to think ahead for when we get more. We already know what that is. And wasn't this what it was telling us that we need to get through the other one? The other door?
Set traps for unsuspecting enemies. Lure your foes into deadly ambushes.
Okay, I think we're good. In the meantime, though, I will take the... Oh, I'll have to put that over Hacker's Delight. We already know the cycloplasmids. Interesting. Someone triggered our little searchlight. Our little camera. I think this is the wrong way from where I'm thinking of. Yeah, it must be. I think it's upstairs. There was that one room that was telling us to use, I think it was the cyclone trap to get past the locked door. Yeah, this is the way I'm looking for. It's here on the left.
Someone.
The number.
So, what was it? Can I... can't use it to go up. Can't use it to do any... Damn, maybe that's not it. What if... that didn't work. Okay, so that's not it. We'll figure it out next time. At first I was kind of thinking that we used something to maybe launch a grenade over or something. That doesn't seem to be the case. Gotta love being able to take advantage of the hacking in this game sometimes.
Dear Dr. Lamb, I received the invitation to your little social club today. In return, I'd like to make you a wager. I wager you need Rapture Central Computing just a little bit more than I need your half-baked metaphysical mumbo-jumbo. Ideal in science, not whatever it is you're up to. You keep out of Minerva's den, and I'll keep this city's automation from grinding to a complete and sudden halt. Sound fair?
Okay, so Minerva's den is the brain center. That's where all the computers in the think tank is. That's what I'm guessing. It seems like a pretty solid choice, to be honest. Airtight archives. You found the upgraded ion laser. The intensity upgrade increases the damage output of the ion laser. Okay, I like that.
The Thinker has taken note of your new toy. A firecracker before the eyes of God.
Oops. I mean, I'm not complaining. More powerful weapons are always welcome in my book. It's a nice little balance. I'm gonna check the ground floor first. Although it's probably not gonna come in handy. Looks like I'm going straight upstairs.
A pair of thugs came into the archives today and started calling up codes from all over Rapture. People's private possessions, just rifling through them. Said they were Ryan security, that they were doing maintenance on the pneumatic system. Maintenance? Huh. Isn't the point of the archives to keep your things safe from prying eyes?
Well, I don't know. Archives can be used like that as well, but I don't know, it sounds like she's got something to hide.
It was your time.
Leave him for now. No, I'm not. It's the same way.
You're upsetting the Thinker!
Already shocked. He's already dead.
Sure, you hear it in Rapture. One of the business types asked me, why don't you splice white? Get ahead. Well, that's some idiocy. I told him, first of all, I am ahead. Second, in Rapture, it's your work that's supposed to matter, not your skin. Too bad for some folks who can't splice in common sense.
Well, that's some old school logic. The way they do it, or at least the way they think of it. Once you splice white, well, it shouldn't really matter, should it? Unfortunately not, Paul. Unfortunately not. as much as I would have loved a Power Armor Edition, one, I wasn't willing to buy the Power Armor Edition just for that game. By the sounds of it, I kind of dodged a bullet there. I mean, the game has been discounted twice. It wouldn't surprise me if eventually the game went free to play. And by eventually, I mean pretty damn soon.
I have begun testing a new approach to the splicing sickness problem. Adam remembers, you see. The method uses the Adam's own recall of past cell configurations to revert each of the patient's genetic changes. With one final dose, we return the patient to his former self. It is only theory. The number of potential bonding sites for even a single test is innumerable, and I cannot calculate alone. But I have heard of an adding machine at the heart of the city, beyond the capability of any device the world has known. Perhaps, if I could harness its power.
Well, Tenenbaum's off for that. It's always the Germans, isn't it? But yeah, Fallout 76 is, ooh. I mean, the game sounds like an absolute mess. I mean, it sounds like I compared it to someone earlier to be the new Colonial Marines. It's that level of broken from the sound of it. Like, it sounds serious. Like, how do I get in there? The other side? Like, it sounds like one of the great... I won't say misfortunes, but the great disasters.
Continuing input of audio data into the Thinker's database. Subject, Pearl Porter.
Closer now into the recorder.
I don't know what to say, Milton. This is Mrs. Pearl Porter speaking.
That's the way.
And I'm recording this message with my brilliant husband, whom I love very much. And, I am so looking forward to seeing London.
That wasn't so hard, now was it? Won't you be glad that we have these to listen to when we're old and gray?
Yeah, she sounds mad uncomfortable with that. No, there's no way up. It must be from somewhere else. I'm sure I'll find a way in anyway. Where was I? Oh, right upstairs. Oh no, that's not good. Where's my... Well, if they would stop being extra. Sometimes the bots are my worst enemy. Boozehound, one of my favorite plasmids. That sounds so wrong, doesn't it? It's just one of the most useful plasmids in the entire game. I can't see anything though for the moment. I guess I took the beer goggles a bit too seriously. Wow. £3 for an entire Aliens Colonial Marines. Still fully sealed. I think he got ripped off. I think he got ripped off. I mean, I remember about, what is it? I'd say in 2016, I remember you could pick up a copy, a sealed PC copy of Colonial Marines in GameStop here for, I believe it was 56 cents, and I still wouldn't buy one. I just still wouldn't buy it for that. I don't even know if I have it on Steam, but it was just, it was rough. And thanks for the note on the the console gen videos. I've been putting off doing the next one. I kind of wanted to wait a little bit, just because I was being lazy with the fact that when the PlayStation Classic comes out, if I still haven't cancelled my pre-order yet, but if I don't cancel it, then I can easily... Oh, hang on.
Hell. The maglock door's still active. It's regulated by the resistors plugged into that relay. If you can find a way to yank them out, magnets fail, doors open. There's a plasmid that could do the job. They called it Gravity Well.
Oh, Gravity Well. Okay, it's something brand new, different completely. Find a Gravity Well plasmid. Oh, the special edition. Oh.
According to the Thinker's records, the Airtight Archives warehouse supervisor had a shot of Gravity Well on hand. Getting into the Archives warehouse, that'll be the fun part.
Well, if it's the collector's edition, okay, or well, the special edition, then I'll give you the £3 on that one then. That'll be
one good
accurate.
zap from that electrobolt plasmid should get you into the archives.
Okay, it's trying to get me into somewhere else. Zap the sparking yeah, we've already done that. I kind of jumped ahead in the game, but it sounded good. Right, we need
your possessions
warehouse.
Define you. Don't they deserve to be protected? Airtight Archives offers the most secure choice that you can make. Remember, that's Airtight Archives.
Yeah, I was being slightly lazy about the next gen version because I have to use PS1 footage, and I could connect up my PS1 or my PS2 and record it that way. The picture wouldn't be great since it's, you know, analog signal and whatnot. How are we supposed to get in here? Can't hack it. Let's try underneath anyway, see if something... Ah, I didn't see this last time we were in here. I won't mind with, say, the PS2 one or anything like that. That'll be fine. But it's just you can't really capture properly from an N64 or Sega Saturn. So, you know, the PlayStation is kind of the only real option. Okay, at least it's hacked. Oh my god, bots. Stop. All over the way here. Okay, I have no more atom for this. But I'd say, oh well, it's not letting die. As far as Sony goes, see, I don't know if, oh my god, I wasn't looking. Just kill this. There we go. I don't know if it like auto moderated or whatnot, which it shouldn't. I believe I have that turned off. But I don't know. It's very strange when it comes to regards to, say, Sony skipping E3 next year. It makes me wonder if. Oh, hang on, wait a sec. Let's take a quick look. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna rush. I never put out a video just for the sake of putting one out. That's why sometimes I don't do it for a couple of days. But yeah, Sony skipping E3. It's a strange one, all right. Simply because it makes you wonder. Because Sony don't seem to have... Now, of course, this burst cell, this is new. Ion laser burst ammo. Hold to charge up. Release when fully charged, release a devastating burst attack. But it makes me wonder if they haven't got much left. Remember last year? Well, what was this year? I think it was this year. When all they showed was 4... The only important stuff they showed was 4 games. They were the big highlights. The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding, and Spider-Man. Now, Spider-Man is already out. So what are they going to do? Have the same thing next year, but only show 3 big games, and it be 3 we've already seen twice, 2, 3 times before? You know, it's questionable. But at the same time, they could have some sort of other big event or something like that. They could have a big reveal or anything at non-E3. And for all we know, I don't like to feed into the whole, you know, rumors of the PlayStation 5, this, that, and the other, like everyone else does. But for all we know, some of those titles could be shifting to a next-gen launch title. Could happen. Which will kind of annoy me because I want to play The Last of Us Part 2 as soon as possible. Some people have theorized that Sony are getting a little bit too cocky because Microsoft are fucked this generation. I mean, there's no coming back. They've been done for years at this point. Tittle answer. So, I don't know. Sony could be doing something like that. It could be weird. It's really weird. It could be positive. It could be negative. It could be interesting. Because I know there's no PSX this year either. So that means Sony are going for over a year with no major show. Well, I won't say over a year for sure, simply because they could have something good at Tokyo Game Show or whatever. Now I'll let this little diary play.
Porter thinks his talking computer is harmless fun. It talks like a man. This is a simple toy? No. I have heard that Ryan is becoming paranoid about this Fontaine character. If Porter were implicated as a criminal, I would have the Thinker to myself. As it was meant to be. Keep tinkering, Porter. Your time will come.
See, as far as PlayStation exclusive content, anyway, for next year, I think it's pretty light. Now, I tend to skip a lot of stuff because a lot of modern games don't interest me anymore. But off the extreme just top of my head, I can only think of one first-party Sony game next year confirmed. At least anything that's not like some small crappy thing that any, you know, and that is the zombie one, Days Gone, I think it's called. Yeah, hang on a second. This is our new one, Gravity Well. A flick of the wrist, a vortex of destruction. I'll get rid of Cyclone Trap. Because this is a brand new one. We've never seen this
Clear a room
before.
of clutter, or your enemies. Watch them try to resist the pull of Gravity Well.
Okay, it seems good. It seems like it's going to be easy to use.
The Thinker knows what you're going to do with that, and it isn't happy.
But again, at the same time, Sony and the PS4 can easily survive a year with only third-party content. I mean, they've got triple the Xbox One sales. So when, you know, when multi-plat games, as well as a couple of third-party PS4 exclusive games come out, they can survive. They can survive for 1 year. It's not like the PlayStation 4 is hurting on content. I mean, it's not the Nintendo Switch that's finally getting 8-year-old games.
Hey, I'm just doing my job. And these pencil necks ain't conducting themselves in a way that'll make it go easy for them. Mr. Ryan needs to keep an eye on what certain subversives got circulating in the archives. That's just the way it is. These pinkos think the bandits are just gonna play nice? Send their plans to the Central Council with a bow on top? When it comes to Mr. Ryan, you're either with him or you ain't. Get used to it.
The machine's prediction accounts for your every act. Until you reach the Thinker's core, the equation simply ends. I will not let such an error come to pass.
Well, maybe that's because I shut it off then, isn't it? Me one, Tinker Robot none.
Thinks he's a hard.
I hate these things. Oh, I love that one though. That's so much damage. What is hitting me?
down, lads.
Another one. Oh no, no, thermal.
Surprise!
Come on, come on. Charge up. Oh wait, was it not charging? I can't risk wasting on all these because my
When
stupid
the
little
pneumo
boss
tubes
in the way.
deliver your package on time, when there's just the right candy bar in the vending machine, when everything works just so. Thanks, the Thinker and Rapture Central Computing, of course.
Yeah, that's clear in here for a second. So let's see what else we got. See, I was kind of discounting Dreams because it's like Little Big Planet Mark II, if you will. I realize it's made by Media Molecule, the same people who made Little Big Planet. So that's hence the comparison. But yeah, it's not a huge, massive game. Concrete Jungle, the name doesn't ring a bell. The Last of Us 2 isn't confirmed for next year. Death Stranding as well is not confirmed for next year. That's why. And I forgot the Game Awards were coming up in 2 weeks. So yeah, there might be some info there. I actually hate the Game Awards, as cliche as that might sound. Mainly for 2 reasons. One, Jeff Keighley is absolutely insufferable and a complete shill. And 2, many people actually forget this. The Game Awards are not actually a proper award show. The Game Awards are actually... Oh, look. I apparently sent someone in there. Oh no, I have to throw it over, okay. The Game Awards are actually like an actual, we call them, what's the best word? It's an advertisement expo, if you will. And that's actually like officially confirmed.
It has come
and
to my
disclosed.
attention that a certain prominent bronze figure has been installed in Minerva's den. An original cast from the mold, no less. Such indulgence leaves a trail. If that costly little souvenir brings the looters sniffing to my door, and I am forced to gun them down, it will be at your feet that I lay the blame.
It's going to be curious though, because I do hope that we get some info on it. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to The Last of Us Part 2, so I am hoping... First off, I'm hoping it comes out in 2019. The game's been in development for a while, and I really hope it does come out next year. It'll give me a reason to turn on my PS4. Can't remember the last time I played my PS4. Oh yeah, we all know Jeff and Doritos Gate. Oh, we got 5 of them. Drill lurker. I'm not going to use that one. Can't trust stealth in this game.
Maurice, I need a new pair of shoes ordered and sent to the pneumo in my office immediately. The vacuum bot ate one of mine. Size 7. Alligator. Heels.
But yeah, that's why I'm not a fan of him. I mean, he's essentially just a shill. And he can market it as how he wants, as well as that whole Kojima thing he did at the previous Game Awards. That really annoyed me, because everyone treats Kojima as a god. Now, don't get me wrong, I say this all the time, and I always have to fully clarify this entire thing to make sure people try to understand it. Kojima did wonders for the games industry. He completely revolutionized 3D games in... Oh, we got the launcher. In Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. And 3, of course. But I say 1 and 2 because 2 was the first PS2 one. And, you know, obviously 3 was a PS2 one as well. But he hasn't made a good game in 10 years. He hasn't made a good game since Metal Gear Solid 3. And, okay, we all know about the whole thing with Konami and Kojima. And, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that he didn't really get to make the game he wanted and all as well. But at the same time, he did kind of go and put MGS5 on the ruin, on the path to ruin.
Airtight Archives
by
offers
himself.
the most secure choice that you can make.
But
remember, that's Airtight Archives, located in Minerva's
if
den.
this archive thing would stop. At the same time, Kojima was a highly paid game director at a large company, large corporation. He wasn't chained in a room, fed scraps for 2 or 3 months. Boo-hoo, a highly paid dude was sitting in a cushy office getting well paid for 2 or 3 months and being unhappy with his job. Boo fucking hoo. He wasn't in Guantanamo Bay, he was in Konami's offices. That's the thing that always annoys me.
Up and over, friend. Once you toss that gravity well over the divider, the suction will do the rest.
Oh, absolutely, Paul. There's absolute. Oh, wait a sec. There's no doubt about it. Whenever and whatever happens when Death Stranding releases, no matter if the entire game. Hang on, I'll let this play.
Bingo. That's the way. We're one step closer to getting the Thinker's blueprint out of Rapture. Head down the lift to operations.
No matter what happens with that game, no matter what the gameplay, no matter what the story, be it completely sparse or you know, not existent, or be it a masterpiece, no matter what, whatever happens, that game is going to be getting Game of the Year from so many places. It will be MGS5 all over again. And of course, Jeff Keighley will give some sort of special presentation and special award just for Kojima in that game.
You're nearing the heart of the machine.
It is absolutely going to happen. And he'll invite Kojima up on stage just to give it to him himself.
Visitors to Minerva's den are reminded that the operations wing of Rapture Central Computing is strictly off-limits.
That's one of the extra reasons I hate Metal Gear Solid 5 so much. And it's one of the reasons why the gaming media and whatnot are such a joke. You could look at when MGS5 came out. Go read all the reviews. I'm sure you've already seen them. But you can go back and check all those reviews. So many of them all say the same thing. Bland level design, empty, useless open world, nothing to do, boring, repeatable, replayable missions, and what's the word I'm looking for? Like no variety in the mission. Mother base basically useless. All this incoherent story, everything's an absolute mess, the ending is an absolute joke. 10 out of 10, Kojima masterpiece. Really?
Sigma, you show such loyalty to a proven traitor. What is Porter to you? A convenient excuse to disrupt my work? Or something more?
Also,
I am curious.
I think I missed a little sister.
But not enough to let you live.
Shit. I don't like the sound of this. Okay, so it's going to be a horde style, is it? That's how we're going to do this? Oh shit, I missed one. I mean, I can do this all day. Too many bots. Why will my bots not shoot theirs?
I've got a bathysphere at my lab that should be able to get us the hell out of Rapture, but we can't launch just yet. First, we'll need to reprogram a signal beacon. That nutcase Lamb's got the city on lockdown, but a hacked beacon should keep her torpedoes at bay. See what you can find.
Really, we get a cream bar? Are you serious, Ken? And it really annoys me that that's what happens with, you know, gaming media. But they are the joke for a reason. Just look at Diablo Immortal. It's a perfect example.
Let's just talk
I hear a big guy.
The brain boost gene tonics are working. Extra strength, yes. I see more now. One mind, doing the work of 2. 10, with the help of the Thinker, 1,000. The machine spoke, Ryan listened, and finally, I have the Thinker out of myself.
Kill him.
Goodbye,
Oh,
old friend.
no. No, where are
Don't
you?
worry. You leave your creation in capable hands.
Oh, I hit him. Beautiful. It was a lovely shot. Where's the... Oh, no. I'm just gonna take them out. Actually, if I'd known it was that easy, I would have just stood under and hacked it. Where is the thing to turn off the bots? I mean, it's not going to matter now. It's been so long, but I'll just let the time run out. There, oh, there it was. I ran by it and everything. Now, I think I heard a Big Daddy around here somewhere. Yeah, they don't sell anything really good here. I mean, health is always appreciated, but... it's not good. Oh my god, they flew in front of me. You useless little fucks. I actually debated making a video on the Game Awards this year. There was, when they posted the list... Oh, you're still alive, okay. When they posted the list of awards and all that, I was gonna, before I read it, I was thinking, okay, I could record this and see how much of a joke this is gonna be. And then I decided not to because... It's just going to be kind of pitiful. And I didn't want to... It's not that I didn't want to rag on them, I just didn't want to disappoint myself that much. Well, we know how that ended. Yeah, I completely agree that... Like, when you look at Diablo Immortal and Fallout 76, calling gamers entitled and whiny babies and all that stuff for not being completely obligated to a product and not being obligated to give your time and money to a product because you're unhappy with either what it is or the state of it or the quality of it. That's what it means to be a consumer. That we are entitled to that. If a company wants our money, we are entitled to a good product, or a product we want or are happy with. But the gaming media, on the other hand, they would like to tell a different story.
Hey, Felix. I hear Porter is really happy about the new trajectory calculation routine. You know, the one that we worked on for 6 months? The one you took all the credit for?
Oh, that reminds me. If you're looking for the key to your brand new office, you might want to check in the Circus of Values down the hall. Hope you brought your milk money, asshole.
Nice. That was quite the way to
Some of the boys in the code pit whipped up a real doozy of an entertainment. Monitor screen hooked into a sort of tiny airplane cockpit, yeah? And that's swell, because what shows up on screen is an X, that's you, and a bunch of O's, like a Spitfire surrounded by a squadron of Jap Zeros. You fly your little X around and shoot them down one after another. The wall caught us at it one night, called it a waste of time. I don't know. On balance, ain't it better to change what's on the screen than just stare at it?
Yeah, a lot of them just want to ensure that they get their review copies and all that stuff. And I know there's a few out there that still kind of go against that, and they'll still, or whatever you want to call it, they'll still talk shit even if it does get them a review copy pulled. But at the same time, I mean, these are still the people and all that are defending corporations. Just does not compute to me.
What? This is all perfectly logical.
We make it all run. The brains in those bots and cameras, that's us. Automatic bathysphere navigation, calculating genetic probabilities for new plasmids, hell, regulating water pressure so this place ain't a fish tank. It's all Rapture Central Computing. Not that we get the recognition. Funny thing about living in the city tomorrow, everybody takes it for granted.
Oh, so close. I don't know. I think they're a joke. The problem is there's not really a middle ground. You've got the people out there, which are basically all gaming media, that are just chills and everyone will just go crazy for it. You know how it is, but I don't know, they're so disingenuous and so, I won't say whimsical, because it doesn't. Whimsical implies, you know, thought or emotion or something into it. But these are just at the whim, rather. Search the seafloor outside for the bathysphere, but I can't go outside. They're at the beck and call, or it's probably a better one, of whoever's giving them a copy or whoever's giving them a game or whatever it is. And then you've got YouTubers who are 50-50 in either complete shield zone or just, I don't even know what the other way to describe it would be. Wait a minute, property of Reed? We can't go in. They're just, I don't know, I don't want to say out of touch. Like, some of them are just, I'm talking about the talking head versions, of course. You know, them guys, the talking head version guys. They just rinse and repeat. I'm sure they might throw in an opinion on there too, but it's usually a safe one, if that makes sense. They're usually going to say something that won't piss the majority of people off, even if it's wrong, if you will. Sony offering excellent PSVR bundles, you say? Do any of these VR bundles include a game worth playing on PSVR?
Come on.
Because there is no games worth playing on PSVR. In fact, funny you mentioned PSVR. Just yesterday, what was the day before? We'll say yesterday, because I don't remember if it was for sure. I was actually planning on playing a VR game fairly soon. I don't know if I'll stream it or not, but I'm gonna play Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice in VR.
Continuing input of audio data into the Thinker's database. Subject, Pearl Porter.
shite.
I want to tell the recorder how we met, Milton.
Okay, sure.
I was working in my family's diner. School was starting for the fall. And one morning, in walks this college boy. Clean cut. First thing I noticed was his eyes. He sat down and ordered bacon, eggs, and coffee. He was shy, but we talked a little off and on. He came in every single morning for breakfast and ordered the same thing. I told my mama, that boy must really love your cooking. She said, he isn't coming in for the food, honey. He's coming in for you. A year later, we were married.
A year later? That moves fast. I have... I know you said no laughter, but I don't even know what that is. The I don't keep up with the VR stuff. I mean, that's terrible for someone who bought an Oculus Rift for himself. Oh, upgraded rivet gun. Who bought an Oculus Rift for himself last Christmas and has probably used it 4 times since, all within a couple of weeks of actually buying it. I feel lost here. I didn't really pay attention to the BAFTA awards either because, well, they're the BAFTA awards, aren't they? Says it all, really.
After some searching, I made contact with Charles Milton Porter in Minerva's den. A productive exchange. Clearly, Rapture is no place to continue my research.
The seafloor outside Minerva's den is a machine graveyard. With a little luck, you should find the beacon we need out there.
Okay, I'm gonna have to play this again, because she cut him off.
After some searching, I made contact with Charles Milton Porter in Minerva's den. A productive exchange. Clearly, Rapture is no place to continue my research. But Porter says that if he can find a way to return to the surface, along with the programming for his mainframe, we could then rebuild the machine and work together towards the cure. I have located an Alpha series to assist him. Subject Sigma. I must return to the surface. If Sigma is successful in Minerva's den, then the cure for Adam's curse is on its way. It is only a matter of time.
So is this ongoing right now? Because she's questioning things that are going on right now.
I must keep an eye on Porter and his thinking machine. There's more than one way to muscle out a rival, and I suspect that Fontaine is vying for market dominance in computing now as well. Each hour that contraption spends crunching genetic code for Fontaine brings my city one step closer to dissolution. And if Porter should begin dancing to that hoodlum's tune, well, the machine is a marvel, invaluable. The man.
Some damn fool stuck his finger in the socket. To get out through the airlock, you'll have to break the circuit somehow.
Some damn fool stuck his finger in the socket. That's especially funny to me, just because... Oh, that guy can't. Okay. That's especially funny because one of my friends, when he was 2 years old, he stuck... he stuck his house key, or someone's house key, in the electrical socket. He got a shock. And the best thing about it is that's... We say that's the reason he's got red hair. It's a Pixar-looking cartoony mouse. He's burdened with glorious purpose. Well, so it's Crash Bandicoot in VR. I haven't seen anything for it, or if I have, I've just completely forgotten about it. Let me play this first.
I figured out how to reprogram a bathysphere signal beacon to scramble Lamb's torpedoes, but I need access to a bathysphere.
Oh no.
Look for a downed bathysphere. They each had a signal beacon we could use.
I do think VR is still not where it needs to be, and it still hasn't got killer apps and whatnot yet. But I do feel like VR gets a little bit of a bad rap. My Oculus Rift came with 6 free games, and while I still haven't played it fully and properly yet, I still need to do that sometime, but I tried out Super Lucky's Tale. Yeah, that game that was eventually ported to the Xbox One. In VR, that actually looks nice, and you can get up close, and the models are really high quality. And it's decent.
Make yourself at home, Sigma. Soon you also will be rusting here among the trash, used up by Porter and tossed on the heap.
But it's not a complete killer app. No one's gonna run out and rush out to buy, we'll just say, Oculus Rift to play Super Lucky's Tale. Now, Robo Recall, on the other hand, that game's beast. I love that. I actually streamed that. The problem with that, and the problem, I streamed that one. I couldn't read chat, obviously, because I had the VR headset on. Hack the signal beacon.
That'll do the trick. Take the beacon to the master input console in the programming wing. That paranoid bastard Wall had it installed in his office.
Surprise, Sigma!
Oh, that's him. That's Wall. And the thing that was kind of annoying about that stream is my microphone was really low because it was really far away from me. I didn't realize at the time that I could set the microphone to be the one on the VR headset. And that was before YouTube allowed the, what do we call it? The live chat replay. So now you can, let's take it. Now when you archive a live stream, you can still see the chat. Why is that killing me? It shouldn't be attacking me. But that didn't have that back then, so I couldn't see what everyone was doing. No, I haven't watched 3D movies on the Rift at all. Well, I don't know if you should say 3D movies. Do you mean like actual 3D stuff like Avatar or whatnot? Or have I watched a movie in the 3D theater mode in the headset? If it's the first one, and you're talking about, say, watching like an actual 3D thing, no, I haven't watched anything in it. Have I watched any of like my video files or anything like that in the 3D theater mode in Rift? Yes, I have. It's kind of fun. It is. It's kind of fun, especially because they're all really high resolution videos and whatnot, like 1080p or 4K videos or whatnot, and I just play them in that. And it's kind of nice, but it's a bit unwieldy. Try not to hit him. Whoa, shit, what the hell was that? Sometimes this doesn't charge up when I click. That is annoying. I get trapped everywhere. This is not working as well for me. Just hurry up and die already. What the hell is happening here? The next little sister you harvest or save will cause a big sister to appear and hunt you down. Once you deal with the next little sister, be prepared to fight for your life. So pretty much business as usual. You know what I'm kind of tempted to do now because you reminded me of it? I'm kind of tempted to just connect up my Rift and use it to watch like a load of anime. I've been watching anime, a lot of it lately, and I've been burning through one of my series real quick. And that might work. Just sit there with it on and check it out for a little bit. But at the same time, if I do that and it doesn't pan out and I only use it like for one night, a bit of a pain in the arse to set up. I don't keep it set up, that's my deal. I don't have the space for it here. Not to keep set up full time right now. Maybe if I go through and make that other setup I want, but
I just remember Mommy. Who is that?
oh, that's right, I have the anti-personnel ammo, don't I?
See the light in the tummy?
She doesn't like you.
Jeez, how many of them is there? Who's just ignoring me completely, going for the little sister? I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. Oh, lovely. Yeah, I think I'm going to set that up and do that tomorrow. In fact, I'm going to set it up tonight, because if I go to set it up tomorrow, when I actually want to watch something, I'll just be lazy and I'll say, oh no, fuck it, I can't be bothered. I'll just watch it. But if I do it tonight and it's ready to go, that'll be a whole other story. Any anime recommendations? Well, you mentioned Bleach. I'd suggest finishing that at some point. About 2 or 3 years ago, I actually watched the entirety of Bleach. I had previously watched most of it, well, about half it. I watched until where the Bount arc was. The Bount arc has started, and that was so bad and so annoying. After a few episodes, I gave it up, and then eventually I came back a couple of years later and watched it. Right now, I mean, I could make recommendations, but it's all old anime that you've probably already seen. I haven't watched much new stuff in a long time. So, like, the newest time I watched anime is still years old at this point. But just for the sake of it, I'll throw in the classics. Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo. What else is fantastic that I love? Attack on Titan, as much of as a meme that some people consider that. Oh, you like Attack on Titan? Yeah, because it's good. Still have to watch season 2, let alone season 3. And what else is there? There's a bunch of other ones I'm just forgetting right now. Because I've watched a shitload of stuff. Trigun, honestly, Helsing as well.
Baby Alice.
What else? Yes, run into it. Get shocked. I don't know. Other than that, as much as people make fun of it as well, I actually like Naruto. Obviously, other than the filler, that's a bit much. But I'm currently watching Naruto Shippuden. That's the anime I was saying that I'm working through. So like, that can go decently.
I read to you now from the machine's prediction. Sigma enters Minerva's den. Encounters hostility. Sigma enters Wall's chambers. You see, the Thinker has chosen me. It does not care what I once did.
Giving you stores and parties.
I think I know where his voice is from now. I think it's from one of the GTA games. I played those recently, and that's why he sounds really familiar.
Wait, before I enter that, I need to... That makes it hard to sleep. forgetting things lately. So this...
Put the little sister back.
This is an emergency reminder for the code to my... private storage area. I won't record the number, but... remember... just look at the 4 groups of books on the shelf. And the sequence is obvious.
Look at the 4 groups of books on the shelf and the sequence is obvious. Well, I know what we're gonna have to do. How do I interpret the ending for Cowboy Bebop? That's a good question. I'm gonna try do it without spoilers in case anyone... Wait, let's just you've left your present. Retrieve it from the Gatherer's Garden. So, I'm gonna try do it without spoilers. I don't think... no, it's... how do I word it? How do I word it? Let's just say... where it is. This... Bang. That one, the one we all know and love. I do think that was the end. I do think that was the end. If you catch my drift. I need to get all this ready because we're gonna have a bad time here. Here she is. Wow, that did like no damage to her. That was terrible. Okay, this is better. No, you don't. She's trying to suck his life out and heal him, or heal up with him. She's dead now anyway. That's the best way I can say I understand Bebop. In the best way. Such... I love it so much though. It's just so good. It's tied 50-50 for the best anime series I've ever watched. Oh, the clown episode is technically the episode I hate the most, just because it's so creepy, essentially. With Pierre LeFou, or Pierre LeFou, I think his name is Pierre LeFou, if I remember right. But, oh, I'm going the wrong way, I meant to go back to... No, I need to find a Gatherer's Garden before I go any further. Yeah, I really dislike that episode. I'm not one of those people who find clowns, like, weird or anything like that, or clowns scary. But I just dislike him and that episode. Wait, that's not what I want. Little sister reward. Proud parent. Get even more out of your time spent with your little sister as a proud parent. Okay, so they give me more Adam. Good. I'm not going to equip it yet because I'm going to buy some more gene tonic slots. Now I can put it in. Oh, it's so good though. So good. The thing about it is, even though almost every episode is essentially its own self-contained story, they all have little links to the big story. Except there's one or two that don't have anything super major in there, but... Oh my god, all those upgrades. Oh, when the story they went in with the cat and why he's afraid of him. Yeah, it's pretty rough. I don't think we've been in here though, have we? Court, no. Okay, yeah, that's why we haven't been there. We can't. What else is there? I'm trying to think of other stuff. I mean, if you're not really picky about genre, because I realize not everyone likes certain types of anime and whatnot, but I mean, from what I remember, It's been maybe 14, 15 years since I've watched it because I'm old. But Love Hina was actually kind of interesting when the story episodes were there. Oh, I watched Outlaw Star for the very first time ever earlier this year. That was good. I recommend that. Examine the bookcases in Wall's office to determine the key code. Oh, that's right. There was we have to look at the bookcases and the order will be obvious. I just have to find the bookcases, don't I? Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah, here. So it's 2, 3, 4, 1 is what I'm guessing. Because we've got 2 books, 3 books, 4 books, and 1 book. 2, 3, 4, 1. Oh yeah, so when you do that, it shows up. Okay. I'm assuming it's going to give us something on the computer. The Tinker knows. Oh no, it opened the bookcase. That's his little hidey hole. The one he was referring to in his audio log. Rockets, laser cells, burst cell. That's what I really need. Those do some serious damage. Here, it feels like there's just a Big Daddy just everywhere. But maybe it's just the sound of the entire place.
Good. It's all hooked up. I can run the hack sequence from here. Just 1 minute.
Good to go.
That should do it. I hope. If the hack turned out right, you are now the proud owner of one homemade signal jammer.
And just as an extra little... Oh, well, come on.
Porter worries you with Sophia Lamb's torpedoes? Ha! He fills your head with foolish visions of freedom. I can provide you more immediate concerns.
No, oh, why is this guy here too? I'm trying to take out the Big Daddy and the big lads. Just taking everyone at the same time. And she's mine. Nah, see? I told you there was a Big Daddy. I wasn't being paranoid. You're not paranoid if they are out to get you. Yeah, as a random little aside.
Smell the Adam, Daddy? Over there.
Cowboy Bebop is one of the few anime that has a really good English dub. In fact, it's so good, it's probably my favorite English dub.
I just remember Mommy. Who is that?
And I got it signed by Spike. Spike Spiegel. My first half of the Blu-ray collection.
No, she ain't going to your house. Over there. Where do they all run?
Although having said that, because it was my very first convention ever, if I had known you could bring like more than one item, because I didn't really know how they worked, I would have brought up my Cowboy Bebop DVD, the film DVD, which I've now actually watched to death, to the point where it wore out and I had to replace it. No, that's wrong. No, you don't. Hate people. I need to remember the quick keys for these. It's a little bit different.
Are we gonna be together again, Daddy?
From main story Bioshock 2.
Adam, Daddy, over there.
In your wing? Yes, it is.
Adam, Daddy, here. What is all this thinking?
I'm gonna... It's funny because I've put so much time and effort into Naruto Shippuden at the moment that when I do finish it, I'm almost finished it. I'm... What is it? 3/4... No. I'm 4/5 of the way through. 80% done. And once I finish it, I don't know the ending, so obviously none of that stuff. But I'm just gonna have like an existential crisis that it's finally over. And I don't want to watch Boruto. Oh no, there's the big one again. Come on, where are you? He should explode and die, right? That's how this works.
This angel's all done now. Daddy, you always save me from the monsters.
Not only am I the big daddy, but I'm the best daddy. Wasn't there one of these in his office? No. We'll back a little bit further. Yeah, there it is. I'm really out of touch with new anime though. A lot of people are always telling me, it's like, oh Q, you need to watch Tokyo Ghoul. You need to watch, oh, what's the other one? Death Note. I was like, well, first off, I tried watching Death Note. I didn't like it. You need, well, what's the other one? My Hero Academia. That's the other hotness.
So far, so good. I can feel the sunlight already. Now we just print out the machine code from the Thinker's central processor.
I thought he would have kept talking. But...
So I can take it to the surface and start to rebuild. Computer core access is at the far end of ops.
Let's see, what else do we have? Plasmid's a lot. I don't really need that, but it's better to be safe in case we get another one. Oh, Gravity Well 2? Ah, okay. It's not great. I do like these though. I'm going to buy some of those. I need the space for them first. I'll only be able to afford one, but Eve Saver. Oh, we'll go Eve Expert. A whole another hypo is really where it's at. Oh, I'm raging. I would have loved to be able to afford Eve Saver at the same time, but c'est la vie.
What would Rapture be like without automation?
Really?
Self-opening doors to new
Again?
deliveries. Rapture's central computing keeps life running smoothly.
Oh, stitch me a header. Gave me a good old Glaswegian kiss.
Tinker!
How did that not hit him? Doesn't matter now. He did. Oh yeah, a friend of mine always recommends Crunchyroll. I didn't know Funimation have their own actual service though. I follow Funimation and manga on Twitter. That way I always see what's new and whatnot.
Tender your promotion in exchange for... yes, let us discuss it. In my office.
Again! That's one of my bots. I feel like it's very... Oh, Berserk is another one actually. Oh yeah, Sony owns Funimation over the whole... what was it like? It was earlier this year, I think, when there was the buyout, the majority stake. But as long as it all stays the same, it should be fine. But will it stay the same? Who knows? When stuff has changed and decisions are made, is that really Sony making them, or is that really Funimation making them? Who knows? It's the real questions you have to ask. Of course, it drops loads of drill fuel. That's stuff I just bought loads of. Oh, upgraded drill. The drill is fully upgraded, giving it increased damage, improved fuel consumption, and causing it to deflect enemy projectiles while it spins. I feel like this is going to be the way to the next level that we can't go to yet. Give it climate control. They don't own the full rights to Snoopy and Charlie Brown though, do they? Just part of the share. I assume it's like Disney, when you think about it. Because hang on, before we... Oh no, what's happening?
It's not your time to enter the core. Not just yet.
Well, this would explain climate
Wall,
control.
you son of a bitch. He's cranked the Thinker's coolant system into overdrive. You're frozen out of the core. Head to climate control and manually reset the turbine to defrost this mess. It's the only way we're going to make it to the Thinker.
But yeah, it's probably a lot like Disney and Marvel now. They own... Oh, wait a minute. I don't have Incinerate. How am I supposed to do this? Oh, I guess I'm going down to maintenance to get Incinerate. Yeah, Disney own like The Simpsons. Disney own obviously all the Marvel stuff. Disney owns Star Wars. But most importantly, when you look at it, Disney own Aliens and Disney own Predator. That's important for several reasons. One, it now means there is some hope, some semblance of a possibility that Disney will now be able to license out the rights to redistribute or give digital versions or whatever it is of Aliens, the arcade game. Because they also own Predator, it's also entirely possible that they could now give the rights, because they own both Alien and Predator, and relicense it to Capcom to publish another version of the AVP arcade game, which is absolutely amazing. And also, third and finally, and possibly most important, hang on, she's not talking over me, and possibly the most important one is that now that they own Aliens, that technically means that the Alien Queen is a Disney princess.
First of every
Bingo.
month, security systems are active.
Ah, okay, so it's partial rights and all as well. That makes more sense. You need to go away and just explode somewhere and die. Oh, he's not dead. Okay, now he is. But that also reminds me of... Oh, crap, I was going to say it, but now that distracted me. It'll come back to me. It'll come back. Oh, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. Let me just get out of this area before we... Apparently I missed Incinerate 1, because this is Incinerate 2. We don't need the Cyclone Trap. We already know what this does. I have a feeling that 20th Century Fox are just going to be shut down eventually. They'll be there in name only for a while until it's completely... until everything is completely distributed, I think. And then they'll just shut them down. But yeah, like I was saying, with Sonic the Hedgehog, that's apparently why Sonic 3, or specifically Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic 3 and Knuckles, is not included with a lot of the updated packs, the updated like Mega Drive bundles and all that stuff, because apparently it's to do with the family of the guy, or I don't think it's the guy itself because I think he's dead or something, of who owns the rights to Knuckles. So that's apparently, they don't want to redo the licensing agreement, or they can't come to an agreement. So it does not happen.
Rapture depends on the thinker every day. Dispatching trains,
now I'm kind of lucky in that regard,
keeping the air fresh.
because I bought
the most helpful machine in Rapture.
on the I know there's the Mega Drive collection out now. I know it's been out for a while, and of course, as the late ports always are, it finally came to the Switch. But if I remember right, Sonic and Knuckles isn't in that. But that collection is well, the old version of that collection has been out on PC for about 6 years, and you could individually buy whatever game you wanted. If you only wanted 1 game, 2 games, 8 games, 29 games, and only select ones, you could buy whatever game you wanted. And the license agreement at the time... Who are these people? The license agreement for those at the time also included the ability to purchase Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which means I have a copy of Sonic 3 and Knuckles for that. For that collection, basically. Oh, look, there's a... It's hidden in there. Now, that's all kind of moot, simply because I've got a Mega Drive copy, so when I get my analog Mega SG, I'll be able to play Beast Mode that way. Your handheld Mega Drive, it depends. Your handheld Mega Drive, is it a Sega Nomad? Or is it like some knockoff third-party job? Because there's just so many of those out there, like Act Games ones, or even kind of no-name ones. I mean, hell, I know how it is here in Europe. It's a bit on the mad side. Used to be Wild Wild West style. I remember back in the day when I was a kid, I'd say it was probably when I was in like my early teens to mid-teens, my cousin got one of those like plug-and-play systems for Christmas, and it was in the shape of an N64 controller, and you just plug the N64 controller directly into the TV, and you could play like 40 games or whatever. Most, believe it or not, Mario 1 was actually on there. They didn't call it Mario 1, they call it something else. But I miss those days. I know all that stuff has kind of disappeared now. Oh god, you have the At Games one. Oh my god, I apologize by your misfortune. Because, well, those At Games ones are, let's call them coveted, kind of, but for the wrong reasons. Because of their, let's just call it lack of quality in many of them. I don't want Elemental Sponge. Good haul of ammo on that one, though.
Continuing input of audio data into the Thinker's database. Subject: Pearl Porter.
Hey, Milton. I'm recording this on the 6th straight day since you were home last. I know your work is important to the war effort, but you're not even allowed to tell me what you're working on, and that's so frustrating. London is a beautiful city, but it isn't home. I hope I'll see you soon, Milton.
Ending input.
Yeah, it's to the point where when Sega announced earlier this year that they were making another, well, what we call a Mega Drive Mini, it came out that At Games was going to be the one behind it. A lot of people were not happy. And it got to the point where Sega actually cancelled the At Game contract to be able to make the actual new upcoming Mega Drive Mini in-house. So when that comes out at some point next year, it will be made in-house by Sega with some sort of official Sega emulator, which will probably be good. And I'll probably buy one, because, well, it's what I do. But yeah, the At Games ones are kind of legendary for their shoddy emulation. For the wrong reasons, essentially. Oh, upgraded launcher. Damage immunity, deflects your own rockets. Nice one. At least on that front. I hear Big Daddy.
Sigma, the main cooling turbine is in overdrive. The controls should be down below.
The thing that really annoys me is I'm so close to placing his voice, but I can't 100% say who it is. I feel like I've heard him in many games, or many TV shows, or many something, but I don't know what exactly, and it's wrecking my head. I'm gonna have to look at it in the credits for this.
The irony of my predictive equation is that it sometimes requires blind faith. I see the individual elements crashing against each other, and the urgency of what I must do to maintain my part in the plan is clear. But I cannot always see just why. An Alpha series is headed to Minerva's den, subject Sigma, and the equation states that if he reaches the computer core, catastrophe. I do not know why. Yet. But I know what must be done.
Come on, reload faster.
Subject Sigma is approaching Minerva's den. He must not reach the Thinker. Detonate the tunnel!
Oh, that was the very start of the DLC. When it was saying detonate the tunnel. And it's really strange because I'm usually good with voices. But this one just wants to elude me.
Come on, Daddy. It's close. You're the angel.
This guy is, speaking of Matrix, he's doing a big Matrix dive. Got an ice Houdini slicer. Splicer. You know what? Just where is this? Do I have it? Just because flames. And I'm barely using that ammo anyway. I kind of missed the camera because I could do the research to make them easier to predict where they're going to land. He gets caught in his ice. But which ones are the turbine controllers? The game likes to be very selective sometimes. That's probably something down here. This looks like it will be. At this point, I don't even need to unhack my own doors. Wait, come on, doors. I hacked you. Open.
Hey. Mister.
Ooh, marshmallow.
Oh, the other captain. Okay, I get you. I remember him now. Now, having said that, I'm not 100% on what his voice sounded like. Although apparently it's like this guy. It's kind of weird. Because I was thinking of watching The Matrix again recently. The entire trilogy. Despite the third one being the third one, you know. Oh, you're not. You're crafty. Ice Storm. I don't want that.
Tricky problem. This one. You're
Oh, you lucky fucker.
It's dancing, Daddy! Dancing!
That one was unusually hardcore. Yeah, the first Matrix film is still great. It's still fantastic. The second one is still good. But the third one... oh, not so much. Oh, it's
when there's just the right candy bar in the vending machine, when everything works just so. Thank the Thinker and Rapture Central Computing, of course.
Climate control system reset. Temperature balance normalized. Computer core access restored.
That's actually going to be one of the
That'll
first
do.
4K Blu-rays I
The
buy.
chamber leading to mainframe access is defrosting as we speak. Head on back there. Next stop, the Thinker's computer core.
Because I'd imagine that the Matrix would look great in 4K.
The ice was meant to send a message, Sigma, but you do
didn't.
not listen.
Just
Perhaps
before.
your brothers can open your ears.
Oh shit, more of them. These burst cells are fantastic. How many more little sisters? 2 more in this chapter. I forget which way we were going. Oh my god. More. Open, open, open. So it's just going to be an onslaught of these, isn't it? Excuse me, my cat-like gaming reflexes are always in effect. I'm just... The game's a bit dated, that's all it is. Nothing I could do. It's all the game's fault. Yeah, that's what we're going to go with. It's still pretty solid.
Adam, Daddy, right here. Roses on the inside, Adam inside.
I age like wine, after all. Me and Bruce Willis.
So we remember.
Now I want to watch Die Hard. This is the problem with having such great film taste. You say one thing, or you think of one thing, and then suddenly you want to watch everything. And it happens so often as well. Whoops, wrong button. We'll be fine.
He'll see you. I made your numbers, stupid machine.
Oh, he's Houdini.
I'm always safe with Dad.
It understands me.
Where's the... Oh, I was supposed to say, where's the nearest Gatherer's Garden? Right there. So,
Something come loose.
we get rid of the sister. And then we'll hit up Gatherer's Garden.
Delicate blanket. We're still working on that.
Oh, no, you don't. He ran. I really wanted to give him some payback with that one. Oh my god, really? It's having a remastered cinema re-release? I really hope that we get that over here. I very much doubt we will, but I really hope we do.
I'll take 3 this time. You understand that? 3.
I would see that in a heartbeat.
I walk all the time. I love you.
Why is this thing trying to kill me all the time? That would be beast. I would love to see that. Nothing beats seeing an old film like that you've never seen before you've never seen before in the cinema. To see it in the cinema for the first time. So good. That happened when I saw The Shining. I saw The Shining in the cinema Halloween one year. Maybe, I think it was about 2 years ago. And it was easy. I've seen The Shining so many times, but it was easily the best version of The Shining I've ever seen. But my cinema's crap, and they don't really show much. At least not when it comes to, say, old school stuff. Meaning good stuff. I will be keeping an eye on it though. I'm gonna have to check that out. Arms rest, you'll be able to... Yes, more ammo, that is definitely what I need. I'm just gonna buy loads of gene tonic slots. And then just put in whatever I want. Oh no, I needed to buy some of them, didn't I? That was a good... Womp womp. That one kind of backfired. Is that a Big Daddy? It doesn't have a sister though. They've all got such weird choices of weapons compared to previously.
Cut that down to size.
Yeah, that's a big guy.
The equation is nearing its conclusion, Sigma. The answers lie in the core. The Thinker is waiting for you, Sigma. And so am I.
I have a feeling this could be the end of it. Or, well, this chapter. Because, you know, the Tinker. I mean, so far, I'm not completely blown away by the DLC. I was expecting a little bit better because everyone was going on about how Minerva's Den was one of the finest DLCs of the previous generation. It's not bad. It's certainly more of the same, more of Bioshock 2 essentially, which is a good thing. But even going in with low expectations, in the sense that I'm trying not to hype myself too much up for it, I still expected a little bit better.
Not yet, Sigma! I am still crunching the numbers!
I don't have those accidents no more!
Watch out!
That's it, he just said, just watch out. That's the way to do it.
Hell, there's one way into the core that wall can't lock off. The maintenance access shafts. Sorry to send you down through the pit. It's all we've got.
Well, I guess by your standards, Paul, I haven't lived. not by choice, essentially, in that one. I didn't actually get to see the Dark Knight Return. Well, Dark Knight. No, it was the Dark Knight. Yeah, with so many films: Dark Knight Returns, Dark Knight Rises, The Dark Knight. I didn't actually get to see that in the cinema. The very first time I saw that was on Blu-ray, and the reason for that is a few days before that came out. I think it was like 3 or 4 days before it came out. Maybe might have even been the day before, maybe the week before. But we'll call it a week just for the sake of it. I'd need to check the exact date. But I had a motorbike accident and I crashed and broke my knee. And I could obviously, you know, I was between being in the hospital and then coming home and not being able to walk and all. I couldn't actually go see that. And everyone went to see it except for me. Yeah, that was fun. All my friends went to see it. Not me. But the cool thing about it is because I was completely bedridden for months. Well, that wasn't fun, but I always tried to look on the bright side despite being a big, cynical motherfucker. Is in the run-up to The Dark Knight being released in cinemas, Cartoon Network actually played every episode of Batman the Animated Series, including the film Mask of the Phantasm. They didn't play the other one, the Mr. Freeze one, but still, that was nice to see, because it was something I hadn't seen in so long.
What is driving you into the core, Sigma? What compels you to defy the Thinker's equation?
Also, as a little aside, we only have one IMAX here in Ireland, and I'm going to refine that point by saying we only have one IMAX screen. We don't even have an IMAX cinema with multiple screens. We have one single cinema that has like, I think it's 21, maybe 23, 24 screens, and they have literally one IMAX grade screen, an IMAX certified screen. And that's up in Dublin, so I can't go willy-nilly whenever I feel like it easily.
Is it your deep love for Porter and for Tenenbaum? Ah! You hardly know them, Sigma. You have never even met them.
Oh, this one's new. The Fountain of Youth. In today's Rapture, water is everywhere. Take advantage of maintenance issues with the Fountain of Youth tonic, and let that water wash your cares away. Standing in water slowly restores health and Eve. That is beast mode, and I am easily going to use that. In fact, I am going to stand here right now and... Oh, that's bad. I'm going to stand here and let them all just recharge. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. The IMAX screen is great. So it wouldn't surprise me that playing it for a year in London, of all places, is definitely going to sell out all the time. Usually, when... Oh, hang on,
Ryan's secret police came for Porter long ago. And now he has reappeared in Minerva's den? A man sent to Persephone does not just open his cell door and walk home.
Obviously, whenever we're in Dublin to go see something in the cinema, we always make sure to get the IMAX screen. If it's playing in IMAX, of course. I think the last thing I saw on that screen might have been... I'm going to go with Suicide Squad. I want to say Suicide Squad is probably the last thing I saw up there.
I've tried to keep you from the heart of the machine. You did not listen. When the pangs of familiarity sting you, my friend, you will have only yourself to blame.
Well, come on, Reed. You're insisting that this is all part of the machine's plan and algorithm and everything, so...
Well,
oh, everything goes in the dark.
Ryan's secret police are on their way. They cooked up some kind of evidence against me. Treason, they say. I've heard what happens to folks who get disappeared, come back as one of those metal daddies. So, I'm leaving you with something to cogitate on in my absence. Inputting Rapture Departure Protocol. Figure a way to get yourself out of this city, Thinker. You've got to live on, no matter what happens to me. You'll find a way.
So it sounds like his motivation to help us, to help him escape, is to rescue the computer, kinda? Because he's possibly inadvertently turned it into a version of his wife? I don't know, that's pretty nutso.
You're in the Thinker's core.
I can't afford anything.
The code printer is upstairs in the control booth. Top-level access only. You'll need to confirm your genetic identity to start the printing process.
It also, oh, that's a lot of money actually. It also doesn't help that my local one is terrible. This could be it. Could be drawn to a close.
Forced my hand, you see? The Thinker is
Whoa,
shut
that's
down.
loud.
That leaves only two variables. You and me. The equation ends here.
Alright, Reed. You want to play it that way? You're going down.
Herr Sigma, it is Dr. Tannenbaum. With the computer disabled, Minerva's den is falling to pieces. No pressure regulation, no air supply. You must defeat Vol and bring the Thinker back to full power.
Okay, Big Daddy's everywhere. Okay, good, the doors are open. Die. That's better. We didn't check this side. Oh my god, they're everywhere. Just comes in and stitches me header. He has me in a corner. Dirtbag. Thank God I picked up the upgraded rocket
Your
launcher.
moment has come, old friend. I stand before you, the trusted partner who put a knife in your back. Do not disappoint me.
Is that him? Yeah, it is. Oh no. Okay, I can't just tank him down. What the hell are they doing? They've got all sorts of madness. Look at him go! Where is he? There he is. Blow up. Blow up.
Quickly, take the administrator punch card from Vol's body and reactivate the Thinker.
Oh, I thought I actually destroyed that. Reactivate the code printer. Is this it? It's game over.
Mainframe reactivated. Confirming user's genetic identity. Genetic identity confirmed. Alpha series. Subject Sigma. Former identity. Charles Milton Porter.
Oh, no way!
Welcome back, Milton.
System
Wait, no.
personality
Hang on.
duplication. Subject Charles Milton Porter.
I just realized we're not actually him. Because he turned our clearance into
You
him.
see now why I let the machine speak for you, Mr. Porter. We needed a voice that would be familiar.
Oh, maybe I am.
Comforting. Your own. With that copy of the Thinker's programming, we may return to the surface and use it to restore you to the man you once were. Please, collect the printout and meet me at your bathysphere dock. Take your time, Mr. Porter. I will be waiting.
Oh shit! That was a really good twist. Now I can see why people are why people have so much praise for it. I actually think that was really, really well done. I think that was really good. I didn't see that coming at all. And even when it first came up and it kind of caught me by surprise, then it just made me think, oh no, wait a minute. He fooled the computer into the clearance, into using his clearance, so we could get through that door. But no, so the Tinker was actually pretending to be him to lead us to him, and then Tenenbaum was being Tenenbaum, because well, German ladies be German ladies. Now, of course, everything is all calm, collected, and casual. But we're not over yet, because there's a Vita chamber here. That means there's a risk of death.
I believe I'm done feeding audio recordings and personal anecdotes to the Thinker. I am set to test the personality duplication function. Target personality, Pearl Porter. Thinker, are you ready?
Yes, Milton.
Starting test. Hello, Pearl.
Hello, Milton.
How have you been?
Just wonderful, Milton. I've missed you, though. It's been so long.
Pearl, No, this isn't right. It isn't her. Thinker, stop the test.
But what's the matter, Milton?
Oh, God.
Don't you still love me?
Oh, God, I said end function, Thinker. Now! It's over.
Oh, that's messed up. Wait a minute. This TV has RGB. Of course, this TV must be part of the
glorious PC gaming master race.
Because why not? But that's some different ending. Or I'm assuming this is the end. But between the computer accidentally becoming her, despite his intentional test and whatnot, and then it taking over, so I still have to see how this is going to play out. Because I don't know who's technically in charge. Is Tenenbaum working with the computer? Is the computer doing something by itself? Because it potentially thinks it's Pearl? We'll have to see. I do think, before I go into this room, I do think it's very fitting that a few minutes before the big story points and twists, I won't say complaining, but I just was commenting on the quality of the DLC, that it was nothing special. And, well, everything in the last 5 minutes has completely turned that around on its head. For the better, of course. And there's a picture of them in London, just like they were talking about in the audio logs. Mr. and Mrs. Samuel Porter and Mr. and Mrs. Walter Phillips request the pleasure of your company at the wedding ceremony of their children, Pearl Ann and Charles Milton. Saturday, June 17th, 1939 at 2 p.m. What's that? At the Christ Lutheran Church, Oxford, Pennsylvania. Dear Mr. Porter, I've learned of the death of your wife, Pearl. I hereby extend to you my heartfelt sympathy in your great loss. Very truly yours, Prime Minister Winston Churchill. Oh, so maybe he was helping out with that. They were talking about the bombs, the raids, the bombs dropping. It's all tied into history. There's only one true Ghost in the Machine though, Paul. You know who that is. As a fellow anime fan.
The Thinker never gave up on you, Mr. Porter. It could not leave you behind. Please, step up to the console and begin the bathysphere launch sequence. We have much work ahead of us.
Oh, it's Tennis. She's actually here. It's funny, just when she was talking, I was coming down, I was just thinking, oh, we never figure out what to do with Tenenbaum. She never gets resolved in Bioshock 1 or 2. I guess this answers this. And the achievement for finishing is log out. As for the first one at the start, our very first achievement when we got to Rapture was log in.
And the fall of Rapture. They took my memory, my voice, everything that made me a man. But nothing ever scared me so much as saying goodbye. I wanted to save you. I couldn't resist trying to bring you back the only way I knew how. But you didn't want that. I know it now. And I think I'm finally ready to let you go your way. I stand here with the sun on my face, and it's almost like I can feel you smiling. Goodbye, Pearl. I love you more than I've got words for. Milton.
There we go, Minerva's Den. Bioshock 2's DLC. Up until... Oh, wait, beef. I want to look at the cast. Here we go. Charles Minton... Carl Lumbly. Yuri Lowenthal is Crawler. I know Yuri. I met him in person. I'm going to have to check out who that is, though. Carl Lumbly. See what else he was in. But as far as Minerva's Den goes, well, I think during the ending, or during the winding down, if you will, I fairly expressed my thoughts and feelings on it pretty well. Overall, the majority of the DLC was pretty standard. Pretty much, well, more Bioshock 2, which is a good thing. Most people shit on Bioshock 2. I just think it's unfairly compared to Bioshock 1. Bioshock 1 is obviously a much better game, but Bioshock 2, by its own right, when not compared to Bioshock 1, is still a decent game. It's still pretty good. And the DLC, up until the last chapter, was just more of the same, which is good. And then the ending. The ending hits you like a kick in the nuts. And I thought that was done really well. Which is kind of weird, because when people complain about the story and the writing and all of Bioshock 2, and then the DLC comes out, and it's that good, yeah, it's pretty strange. But definitely welcome. Definitely welcome. I thought that was very enjoyable. I was kind of hoping it would be a bit longer, but, well, it's DLC, so I can't really complain. Not to mention, I got it for free, technically, because I already had Bioshock 1 and 2, and they just give you the remasters for free. Martian Manhunter. Oh my god. Old school. But what's next? What is next? Well, of course it's going to be Bioshock Infinite. Will it be tomorrow? I don't know. Will it be the next day? I don't know. I think I'm feeling it for tomorrow night that I'll start on Bioshock Infinite. Before we wrap up, since we are talking about Bioshock Infinite, when it comes to Bioshock as a trilogy, as the entire thing, Bioshock 1 is still the best game in the trilogy. Bioshock 2, I still think, is very underrated. Not as good as the first one, but I still think it's very underrated. Bioshock Infinite, on the other hand, woo lad, I'm not going to go into detail on the quality of that. We'll talk about that in depth during all the Bioshock Infinite streams. But Minerva's Den is good. We'll have plenty of time for Infinite, plenty of time during the 2 Infinite DLCs, Burial at Sea Episode 1 and 2. Until then, as always, I want to thank everyone for coming out, joining me, being badasses in the stream chat, simply because I'd be sitting here playing games by myself without you guys. You guys make this the stream. And again, I want to express my appreciation for that. You elevate it beyond just me playing here, enjoying myself. You make it the reason why I stream, because it's so much fun hanging out, shooting the shit, enjoying everything, talking about random stuff, talking about the games, talking about whatever it is, our interests, all that stuff with you guys. And of course, thank you so much for that. Until the next time, or video, or whatever it is, whatever your choice of content consumption is, peace out, and I'll see you then.